Dear folks, in this modern time, humans are rushing and busy in competition of daily life. They're always worried about success and failure. Like this, the people of Israel are also indulging in their lives and improving their lifestyles. Most of the time, Israel is a news topic in world history. Due to its long and remarkable history, there are many things to discover about Israel. There are many prophecies in the holy books of the Bible and the Book of Recapture related to Israel and the people. Do you want to know what it is? These are various prophecies mentioned in the book of the Bible and other holy books about Israel. And these prophecies become true, like there was a prophecy about the destruction of Judaism. Prophecy of the destruction of Jerusalem in Israel. The destruction of Jerusalem is a significant event in Jewish and world history. In the Hebrew Bible, the prophecy of the destruction of Jerusalem is found in the book of Jeremiah, where the prophet predicts the city's fall to the Babylonians. According to the prophecy, Jerusalem would fall due to the sins of its people, who had turned away from God and engaged in idol worship, social injustice, and other immoral practices. The Babylonian army would besiege the city, leading to famine and suffering among its inhabitants. Despite Jeremiah's warnings, the people of Jerusalem did not repent, and the Babylonians eventually captured and destroyed the city in 586 BCE. The destruction led to the exile of many Jews to Babylon, which is known as the Babylonian captivity. The prophecy of the destruction of Jerusalem has significant religious and historical significance for Jews and Christians alike. It serves as a reminder of the consequences of turning away from God and engaging in immoral practices. It has been interpreted as a warning of future catastrophes for those not following God's commandments. As you see, the prophecy has come to become a truth. Here is the prophecy about Israel, which may become a truth shortly. Such are: first, prophecy of exile in Israel. There was a prophecy of exile in Israel that refers to the various prophecies in the Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, that predicted the exile of the Israelites from their homeland and their eventual return. These prophecies were mainly delivered by the prophets Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel during political turmoil in ancient Israel. The prophet Isaiah delivered the first major prophecy of exile in the 8th century BCE. He warned the Israelites that their continued disobedience to God would result in their exile from their land, which would be conquered by a foreign nation. However, he also prophesied that a remnant of the people would return to their homeland after exile. The prophet Jeremiah, who lived during the 6th century BCE, also predicted the exile of the Israelites. He warned that the Babylonians would conquer Jerusalem and take the people into captivity, and that they would remain in exile for 70 years. However, he also prophesied that after this period of exile, God would bring the people back to their homeland. The prophet Ezekiel lived during the 6th century BCE and had similar prophecies of exile and return. He warned the people of their impending doom and the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, but also prophesied that God would restore the people and rebuild the temple. These prophecies were fulfilled when the Babylonians conquered Jerusalem in 586 BCE, and the Israelites were taken captive. However, after 70 years of exile, the Persian king, Cyrus, allowed the Israelites to return to their homeland and rebuild the temple, as prophesied by Jeremiah and Ezekiel. Second one is prophecy of reconstruction of the temple in Israel. This is primarily associated with the Jewish people and their religious beliefs. In Judaism, the temple is a central religious and cultural symbol, representing the connection between God and humanity. Therefore, the rebuilding of the temple is a highly anticipated event for many Jews, and is believed by some to be a sign of the coming of the Messiah. The prophecy of the reconstruction of the temple is rooted in various biblical passages, particularly in the books of Ezekiel and Daniel. These passages describe a future time when the temple will be rebuilt in Jerusalem, and the Jewish people will be able to worship there following their traditions. However, the reconstruction of the temple has not yet occurred, and it remains a topic of debate and speculation within the Jewish community. Some believe that the timing of the rebuilding of the temple is in God's hands, and that it will happen when the time is right. Others believe that it is up to the Jewish people to take action to bring about the rebuilding of the temple. It is important to note that the rebuilding of the temple is a complex issue that involves many political, social, and religious factors. The current status of the Temple Mount, the holiest site in Judaism, is a sensitive and contentious issue, with multiple religious and political groups claiming ownership and control over the area. The rebuilding of the temple would also have significant implications for Israel's relationships with its neighboring countries, particularly those with Muslim majorities. Thirdly, prophecy of the restoration of Israel. This is a significant topic in both Jewish and Christian prophecy. In the Jewish tradition, the concept of the restoration of Israel is rooted in the biblical promises of God to the Israelites, particularly in the Book of Ezekiel, which describes the return of the Israelites from exile and the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. The restoration of Israel is seen as a fulfillment of God's covenant with the Israelites and a sign of his faithfulness to his people. In Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 21 to 22, God promises to restore the people of Israel to their own land. This prophecy was fulfilled in 1948, when the modern state of Israel was established. In Christian prophecy, the restoration of Israel is often associated with the second coming of Christ and the establishment of his kingdom on earth. Therefore, many Christians believe that the re-establishment of the nation of Israel in 1948 was a fulfillment of biblical prophecy and a sign of the end times. They also point to the ongoing conflicts in the Middle East and the tensions between Israel and its neighbors as evidence that biblical prophecy is being fulfilled. It's worth noting that interpretations of biblical prophecy can vary widely, and scholars and theologians often debate and disagree about the meaning of specific passages. For example, some see the restoration of Israel as a literal event that has already happened, while others view it as a metaphorical or spiritual concept that is still unfolding. Regardless of one's interpretation of prophecy, it's clear that the restoration of Israel has profoundly impacted both Jewish and Christian history and theology. The re-establishment of the nation of Israel after 2,000 years of exile is seen by many as a miracle and a testament to the enduring faith of the Jewish people. And for Christians, the restoration of Israel is seen as a sign of faithfulness of God and the ultimate fulfillment of his promises to his people. Last but not least is the gathering of the nations against Jerusalem. In Zechariah chapter 12, verse 2 to 3, the prophet foretells that in the end times all the world's nations will gather against Jerusalem. Some see this prophecy as being fulfilled in the ongoing conflict between Israel and its neighbors. The concept of a gathering of nations against Israel is based on a Bible prophecy, often referred to as the War of Gog and Magog, or the Ezekiel, verse 38 to 39 prophecy. According to this prophecy, in the end, a coalition of nations led by a leader named Gog will come against Israel, and God will intervene to protect Israel and defeat the attackers. The specific identity of the nations and the timing of this event are the subject of debate and interpretation among scholars and religious leaders. Some believe this prophecy has already been fulfilled in historical events, while others believe it has yet to come. Regardless of one's interpretation, it is important to note that many people worldwide hold this prophecy in high regard and view it as a significant event in the history of Israel and the world. It also reminds many of the importance of seeking peace and reconciliation among nations and working towards a better future for all. What do you think about this prophecy coming true? Please share your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share and like the video.